Fox Soul challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams, ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face Off on Fox Soul starts right now.
Tonight, closer to home, an assistant principal is facing charges accused of forcing a student to massage her feet. And that's not all. Polk County deputies tell us it happened at Lake Marion Creek Middle School in Poinciana. She was arrested because a number of witnesses came forward. Fox 13's Evan Moon spent the day in Poinciana today. Covering the story, has the very latest for us tonight on the case.
This assistant principal is accused of an inappropriate massage and making sexual comments to a 13-year-old boy, including about learning foreplay. The Polk County Sheriff calling this outrageous and evil behavior. A 13-year-old boy was just being a kid, throwing balled-up paper across a classroom at Lake Marion Middle School. His actions sent him to Assistant Principal Kiva Lark's office, but that's when the real trouble began.
She had a 13-year-old child that was at her school rub her feet. Did you hear what I said? That's right. This was a sexual encounter.
53-year-old Lark allegedly punishing the young boy by making him rub her bare feet in his lap. Then
in this round, here's Quan LX.
Charles, you know, you just can't make this up, man. Life is stranger than fiction now. Here's Dr. Kiva Lark, an assistant principal, one of the top administrators at the school. A young boy accused of throwing paper in class, 13 years old. The method she chose to discipline him after being sent to the office was not putting a young man in a classroom for bad behaving young men, not stripping him of privileges, not suspending him, but she told him to rub her funky feet. So Dr. Funky Feet Lark took off her shoes, put it in the young boy's lap, and told the young boy to rub her feet, and then made sexual words, connotations toward the young man, called him sexual hot chocolate. And then she got upset and told the young man, you wasn't doing the job good enough. This is the assistant principal. Then had the nerve to tell the young boy that you need to learn how to rub feet correctly. That was the method of punishment that Dr. Funky Feet Lark chose to use as punishment for this young man for throwing paper in class. And I looked at a mugshot. Dr. Funky Feet Lark, you're not eye candy, baby. So I understand why she would take advantage of some child to rub them old callus-ridden feet, them damn bunions and coins, because she couldn't probably find a real man her age to do it. And old as you are, them damn feet probably were so ashy, you probably like been dancing in flour. But she should go to jail. She should be punished. And Dr. Funky Feet should never be allowed to be an administrator in any school or in a classroom ever again.
Well, I mean, initially, Kiki Lark, I think is what she goes by. I do think you're correct that she should be prevented from ever being in an administrative or teaching position in any public school again. She's 53 years old. I believe you're 53 years old. You might be 54. I forget how much older you are than me. But I don't think.
Look how good I look.
I don't think you have.
You look like a grandpa. You look like a damn man that's in a retirement home.
I don't think you can assume.
I look like I'm ready for Fortune 500 magazine.
Hey man, if that's what looking like a chicken nugget means, you know, I look. I don't think you can say she has ashy, disgusting, bunion-ridden feet. We don't know. And the real question, like that Polk County Sheriff.
Why you think he didn't rub them well?
The Polk County Sheriff.
So damn ugly. That's why he didn't do a good job rubbing them.
The Polk County Sheriff, he loves him some media. He loves him some attention. He loves the news camera. He's always in front of him. He spends a lot of time. He's in Twitter clips of saying radical things. But at the end of the day, it does sound like they have special laws about inappropriate relationships, and she made some inappropriate comments. But it's being characterized as a sex assault, which is typically when one person touches the genitalia of another person with their genitalia or their hands or something.
Yeah, I don't think she raped the young man.
Well, but that's what it's being characterized, I think, unfairly for media attention and play by the Polk County Sheriff, and I don't think it was, right? I don't think it's something she should be looking at going to prison for. I think it's something she should be fired for. She should have her license pulled. It's gross. But here's a real question.
But it sounds like she was grooming that young
here's
man for even more.
Right, but grooming is an epidemic, but also sex assault and sexual inappropriateness with students at the high school, junior high.
So you don't think she wanted to have sex with him?
I don't have any idea.
Rubbing her feet
but hold on.
and making sexual connotations, calling him sexual chocolate.
What we're seeing,
that old broad wanted to have some.
What we're seeing over and over again, though, is very attractive younger teachers.
Yeah, them white women.
Having sex with high school and middle school students.
Yeah, a lot of white teachers,
and it seems that you have a very different perception of events when it's some hot young thing of whatever race. It seems like you think it's amusing.
What do you mean?
It seems like you're okay with it.
No, that's not true. Look, let me say this. If Dr. Funky Feet had looked like Beyonce.
Right, there you go.
If Dr. Funky Feet Lork had looked like Rihanna, now I'd have had to sit down and talk to my son. I'd have had to ask my son. Now you tell Daddy everything that happened, son. Don't hold nothing back. Don't keep no details to yourself. As a father, I need to investigate everything that took place. And where did you rub? Did she say rub anywhere else? Because I have to find these things out. How long were you in there, son? Oh, my God. I mean, but Dr. Funky Feet, that woman should be locked up for being so damn ugly, forcing that boy to rub them feet, because if her feet look like her face, oh, hell no.
Well, that's my question. So we agree that it's always a bad thing when men, male teachers, male administrators are sexually inappropriate with students.
Hell yeah, it is. It's wrong as hell.
And it's always
nothing
a
but
bad
predators
thing
going after young girls.
when unattractive and older women, teachers and administrators do it to students.
Exactly. Them teachers who look like they've been whooped with an ugly stick. I agree.
It's okay you refer to white teachers or teachers that look like Beyonce.
Because it's mainly white girls that's getting caught up in like this teachers doing this.
So when it's a beautiful young white girl doing it, you don't have a problem with it?
That's for the white boys' daddy to understand. But if it looked like Beyonce, they look like Rihanna.
But what if it did?
Look like Jennifer
what if it
Lopez.
Looks like Cindy Crawford?
Cindy who?
Okay, I'm old.
She old as hell. Cindy Crawford.
What is wrong with y'all? A beautiful woman. Jennifer Jason Leigh. I know that's an old actress too. I don't
now,
know. Now
let's quit faking. There's not a man out here that when you was 13 years old, if your teacher looked like a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, if your teacher looked like a runway model and she said, rub my feet, we gonna get to rubbing real quick and rub somewhere else if she allow us to also. Let's quit faking. Now you gonna sit in this chair and you gonna tell me if a woman that's your teacher at 13 look as good as Beyonce, Rihanna, Jennifer Lopez, huh? And she said, rub my feet, Charles. What you gonna do?
I'm thinking of my teachers like Mrs. Gilbert. Miss Gilbert looked like you, all right, with a wig on. All right, I don't remember. Like, they do show these beautiful young teachers now.
You see
right? You see them. Very attractive women. And
they be married.
And I didn't have any teachers like that.
Me neither.
All my teachers look like men, whether they are women or men. But more importantly, hold on. A crime is a crime.
It sure is.
I don't care if it's an attractive woman or an unattractive woman or a man. It's still a crime, and there still should be consequences in prison. What does it sound like? It sounds like you want to give, if it's Beyonce, if it's a Beyonce clone.
What I'm saying is, as a father, if she looked that good, well, then perhaps we can have some consultation where we can discuss the possibility of dropping charges. Because just because you are charged don't mean the charges cannot be dropped. I will sign an NDA.
That's absolutely disgusting.
What is?
It's not funny.
I mean, I'm not going to discuss what the agreement is.
Let's just stop having teachers and everyone else rape
I agree
kids.
with you. Leave them young boys alone, you hot, super fine teachers. Leave them young boys alone, you ugly ones, boy. Y'all lock them up quick.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
Like, it's a spiritual moment.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Hey, it's your girl Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Mind your damn business, woman. I raise my damn child the way I want to. Shut up! Shut up! Now I say shut up! You ain't getting no damn car. Shut up! What I said, shut your up! Shut up! You're not getting no damn car. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I said shut up! You ain't getting no damn car. Stop partying on yourself. I said shut up! Go to the party at school. How about that? You better shut it up. You got a problem? Well, mind your damn business, woman. You have to mind your damn business. Mind your damn business. How about that? Mind your damn business, lady. Mind your damn business, lady. I raise my damn child the way I want to. Well, mind your damn business.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
So later on, this man that was abusing his child was actually arrested because of the intervention of bystanders. But there was obviously the crowd that was referring to her as a Karen for inserting herself into that parenting. The child sounded like a toddler. It sounded like it was a dispute over using the restroom. Obviously, being aggressive in that scenario never helps the situation. And it sounded like he was beating this child. I think that we are very quick to call, especially older white women, Karen for inserting themselves in situations. I think this woman was incredibly brave, far braver than the person across the way that was just filming. And that has become the norm in America, where something horrible is going on. And instead of interceding and seeking to help or save a life, people just get out their camera and film it. And I will say I have nothing but the utmost respect for this woman. Society needs to intervene when this kind of stuff occurs, but more importantly, we need more proactive measures by institutions like Child Protective Services and law enforcement, because ultimately our most precious commodity is children, and we don't have enough fathers participating in raising their children. But this obviously is worse than an absent father.
Charles, I wouldn't say that, because based on what I saw, and I tried my best to listen closely to the screams of the child to try to determine maybe the age of the child. And I would say this, he did go a little bit too far, but it sounded like to me he was upset and angry perhaps about something else. Maybe he was having a bad day or something had him agitated already, because to watch his interaction with that child, I think it had a little bit more to do with not just the child screaming and crying for something that the father didn't want to give it, but he was going through something else. And I think that many young fathers perhaps like this man, loves this son. He's probably a good dad, but he may not even been raised by a man himself that taught him how to deal and discipline a young child correctly when that need arises. I would hope he gets parenting classes, but I don't think his child should be stripped from him. I don't think his parental rights should be stripped from him. I think parenting classes, and maybe in that way he can learn better conflict resolution and discipline methods with his child. But I remember when I was young, my grandmother always told me, when we go to the store, don't you ask me for nothing. And if you clown me in public, I'm gonna whoop you in public. So many old school parents didn't play that when children get to the stores and start throwing temper tantrums because they want something that the parent don't want to buy, cannot afford to buy. I don't think he's a bad dad, but I think he allowed his emotions to overtake him at that moment and that he went a little bit too far. But I believe, based on what I saw, he's probably a good father, but just took it a little bit too far.
I absolutely couldn't disagree more. I think if you listen to it, the child was asking to go back into the store to use the restroom, and that the father, if you can see by the way the father's standing, the child is clearly in a car seat, which means it's a toddler, it's 4 or under. The child sounds like a toddler.
I heard him asking for some kind of toy, and he said, "You're not going to get a cart. You're not going to get a car or something like that." So I don't think it was the restroom. I think it has something to do more with the child wanting some type of toy from the store.
Honestly, I don't care what the motivation is. It's a toddler, and he is clearly beating him. He's being abusive. He's being a criminal, and he needs.
I think he went too far. I agree.
He needs to have his access to that child supervised. He needs the government involved. He needs the mother. Hopefully, she's probably a victim of domestic violence too, because he seems like an angry.
Now you're stretching it, brother.
He seems like an angry, monstrous person.
He's not a monster.
And he's absolutely
what
a monster.
I just saw was not a monster. That young brother was not a monster. He seemed like a father that was extremely agitated, and looks like he probably had some other stuff on his mind that he was dealing with. But I did not see a monster. I saw a young brother who made a decision to go a little bit too far in disciplining his child. I didn't like the language that he was using, but I can understand and appreciate some firm language sometimes when you're dealing with little boys in particular. But I do not believe he's a monster. I don't believe he's a bad dad. I don't believe that he should have his parental rights stripped away from him. I believe that brother can be taught and corrected, that young man who made that mistake. He's not a monster, though.
I'm not saying he can't be taught and corrected, but I saw something completely different, and I was an incredible hard case of a father. I would fuss at my kids if I didn't think they were trying hard enough at school. I'd fuss at them if I didn't think they were trying hard enough at sports. I was always on their butts, always. I was an incredibly unpleasant father, probably because I had parents that I don't think paid any attention to me, and I could have turned out better.
We all make mistakes as fathers.
Yes, but this was physical abuse to a toddler. And if you're going to beat, and I don't think he was just using bad language, I think he was beating him. I think it's very clear from the video and the woman's reaction that he was beating that child. And if you're going to beat a toddler, you'll beat just about anyone. There's no one more defenseless than a 2-3-year-old child. Other than
I completely
infant.
agree, but I didn't see a monster.
It was evil behavior.
I didn't see. I didn't
see
evil behavior. I did not see a monster. What I saw was a young brother who allowed his emotions to get the best of him, and he took it just a little bit too far. But I believe that that's a corrective measure that could be taken to correct him as a father, make him a better father.
Clearly, it needs some corrective, but I think it needs a real consequence.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love your mind.
In today's Face-Off Up.
Things happened over the weekend. So this guy is in custody, facing murder charges and all sorts of other charges after trying to set fire. Well, he didn't try to set fire, after he set fire to Governor Josh Shapiro's mansion up in Harrisburg.
So Greg is outside of the mansion now with the details.
Yeah, Alex and Mike, we've learned quite a bit of more information in regards to this situation based on court documents. And what they had mentioned is the fact that where Balmer had entered, allegedly based on the court documents, was right here along Geiger Street on the south side of where the mansion is located. Now, Governor Josh Shapiro, he held a press conference yesterday, and he was mentioning how him, his family, and some guests were woken up Sunday at around 2 in the morning by bangs on the governor's mansion door from Pennsylvania State Police, alerting them to evacuate. Now, luckily, everyone made it out safe, but these pictures show the heavy damage inside the mansion. Now, authorities have arrested 38-year-old Cody Balmer of Harrisburg, who they believe purposely set fire to the home. Now, according to court documents, Balmer hopped over the fence and approached the south side of the mansion on Geiger Street, where he used a hammer to break the windows to gain access inside, placing homemade incendiary devices into the home, causing the fire. Now, as for a motive, court records say Balmer had hatred for Governor Shapiro and walked 1 hour from his residence to the governor's home with the intention of throwing Molotov cocktails into the home, and even mentioned he was aware of the possibility Shapiro would be in the home at the time, and if he was confronted by the governor, he would have beaten him with the hammer. Now, Balmer is set to face a number of charges, including attempted murder, terrorism, and arson. Now, there is still a lot of questions in regards to this investigation, but one thing we do know based on that press conference is that security and police are looking into different protocols to make sure that things like this do not happen ever again. Mike and Alex?
You know, this is Quanell. Obviously, Cody Balmer's our face-off F-up. This is another example of horrifying violence in the state of Pennsylvania, where we saw an attempt by a radical far leftist to kill Donald Trump last year. Initially, social media was trying to blame this on conservative men. This is in a man in a mixed race, a father in a mixed race marriage who had financial difficulties, who considers himself a socialist, attended apparently dozens of Kamala Harris rallies. Obviously, Josh Shapiro is the Democrat governor of Pennsylvania. But this is what our radicalized politics has led to.
He was white,
I
right?
can't really tell, right?
Cody.
His wife is African American. He appears to either be mixed race or Caucasian. He looks
Caucasian,
light skinned.
white boy.
But this is an extremist. He's in the late 30s.
Cody.
What now?
Cody.
Cody, yeah. Well, his actual name is Colonel Chris Balmer.
Colonel?
Yeah.
White black brother named Colonel.
Well, you're probably right. I mean, we talked about a guy named Quadarius
and he walked an hour from his house.
No, it does seem
with incendiary devices,
with bombs,
hops the gate at the governor's mansion,
and sets it on fire.
Ain't no Negro in America gonna walk an hour from his house with incendiary devices, hop the gate at the governor's mansion, and set it on fire and not be shot dead walking up.
This is when we continue to qualify and rationalize radical violence as protest in American politics. And we heard all the people that were trying to rationalize the attempted assassinations of our current president, at the time candidate Donald Trump. Right? And it's people we speak about violence as if it doesn't have real consequences. This man went there with the desire to kill Josh Shapiro, Governor Shapiro, and his family, right? And it turns out
he probably was
it's
hanging out with the same crazy white guy that went to Nancy Pelosi's house, right?
Okay, I don't know, but we've got to start
and
having
beat her husband with a hammer.
We've got to start having real conversations about how politics don't need to be defined by the people screeching at either
But what is it about
extreme.
these white assailants that go to political homes with hammers?
Come on.
They beat Nancy Pelosi with a hammer. This fool went with a hammer himself.
You're right.
What's up with the hammer?
We have a lot of people in the political spectrum that are radicalized. I think there's more on the left than the right, but I think both parties
these thugs are out of control.
Are tolerating this, and we have to start being intolerant.
These hoodlums are out of control.
Okay, the terrorists. I think they're
terrorists. Oh, terrorists are out of
right?
control.
But we need to return to real consequences for all criminals.
Treat them like you treat black suspects.
Oh, come on. This is
they would have shot that brother walking down the street with some Molly cocktails in his hand an hour to the governor's mansion.
That's it for the Face-Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up.
You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Face-Off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adam ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face-Off on Fox Soul starts right now.
For LSU wide receiver Kyren Lacy has died at the age of 24 in Houston. The Harris County Sheriff's Office says Lacy was found dead in his car after a police chase, and deputies say he shot himself. Good evening, I'm Jacob Bradford. The Sheriff's Office in Texas also says that Lacy was arguing with a family member before that shooting into the ground and fleeing late last night. Now, he was expected to be in court tomorrow in Lafourche Parish after he was accused of being in a hit-and-run crash in December that left a 78-year-old man dead in Chack Bay. Shortly before midnight, a constable spotted Lacy driving and attempted a traffic stop. And that's when deputies say he took off. Now, that pursuit lasted several miles before ending in a crash. That's when officers say that they noted that Lacy had suffered what they say was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Now,
in this round, here's Quan LX.
Charles, this is such a tragic story of a young LSU wide receiver just leaving LSU now, was entering the NFL draft and had his draft card pulled because of that traffic tragedy that took place in Louisiana where the gentleman was killed in that tragic car accident involving Mr. Lacy as the driver. And Mr. Lacy died here in Houston of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, according to police. And all of this is a tragedy, man. This was one of the most talented young receivers to ever come through LSU. And he trained here locally with a legendary wide receiver trainer here in Houston. And when my son called me with it, I could tell in his voice something was wrong. And I'm like, what's happening, young brother? And he say, man, Dad, he died, he killed himself. And I'm like, who, son, who? And he mentioned Mr. Lacy and what's going on here. It's sad, it's hurtful, it's shameful. He had so much to give, and I hate that he didn't have someone around him that was so spiritually in-depth and in tune to touching and reaching his soul that he didn't give up on life itself. I'm sure his family loved him, they prayed for him, they supported him, but he needed somebody who could reach the inner sanctum of the inner sanctorium of his thought process to let him know no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're facing, as Christ said, any man and woman that reach the depths of hell can also scale the heights of heaven. He needed so much God poured into him that when this latest incident took place of the call being placed from his home about a domestic violence situation or family violence situation, he wouldn't have fled and put himself in a position to where he felt he had no other option but to take his own life. This is tragic. Now among African-American young men, what you see, Charles, is suicide becoming one of the leading causes of death. We have a mental and spiritual problem in the black community with our young men now, to where we're giving up on life and choosing suicide, when at one time we would always choose the church, the prayer warriors in the family, the prayer warriors in the community. You know, you try to just look for something to say now in situations like this. This is how tragic this thing is.
Well, I mean, there's so much. First of all, if you combine suicide, gun violence, and gun violence generally, you combine the two, overwhelmingly, the leading cause of death for young black men in America, and it's horrifying. But it also, it shows you how quickly a life can unravel. This is a young man that played 2 years at Alabama and then 2 years at LSU, won two of the most prestigious football programs in the country, and did very well, right? He was obviously before the incident in Lafourche Parish, he was anticipated to be a first-round draft pick, a life-changing money for him and his family. And then in December of 2024, just a few months ago, it is alleged that he was driving in an incredibly reckless manner in a very fast car, passing other cars on a two-lane road, which caused a vehicle in an effort to avoid a head-on collision, swerved and got in a head-on collision. Now, in fairness, his attorney's position was that he was not involved in the accident, that he was passing safely, and that he continued driving because he wasn't involved in the accident. Now, eyewitnesses contradict that. He did not stop. They charged him with negligent homicide and fleeing the scene, and he was looking at the possibility of real prison time there in Louisiana. I don't think he would have ended up in prison, right? I think he would have probably ended up on some sort of probation, which of course would have caused his draft stock to fall, but he still would have ended up in the NFL.
Possibly. The NFL pulled his draft card.
Well, I understand. He would have been drafted.
So he would not even eligible to be drafted.
Right. I don't think he would have been drafted, but I think he still would have ended up playing in the NFL.
I agree with you. He would have had at least a walk-on at some point. At least
I mean, he's
walk-on.
just so talented. But then he has this incident here, and it's not merely a domestic violence. He was accused of discharging a gun into the ground while arguing with family members, and it led to a call from, I believe, his girlfriend to the police, and then he fled, car chase, wreck, suicide. All a couple of days before he was supposed to return to Louisiana for court. So you took a life that was well-lived and accomplished, and obviously an incredibly hard worker, and it unraveled just in a matter of months. And it's something that we need to impart on children who don't seem to understand, especially all the children we're telling in America that you can't win, you can't succeed, ACAB, hate everyone, when we should be telling people that this is the land of opportunity where people like Mr. Lacy, Kyren Lacy, can become millionaires based on their own talent, and they need to be protected and encouraged, and they need better role models. But people generally, obviously his life spiraled out of control. We've got a national suicide and crisis prevention hotline, 988, much like 911, but it's 988, that people can call and immediately get a hold of a counselor. Do I think that would have fixed this situation? I do not. But I think we need some level of intervention.
In the midst of a high-speed chase and doing it at that moment. But I want to say to these young brothers and sisters and to all of our young people, do not let Satan trick you and deceive you into believing that if you're going through something traumatic, something that is extremely disturbing to you mentally, psychologically, and spiritually, don't let the devil fool you that God is no longer God. God has the power to clean up and fix any problem that you have, but you cannot give up on God, and don't let Satan trick you into giving up on God. I pray for young Lacy's family, but all of you young brothers that's left behind, don't turn your back on God no matter what the hell is going on.
At the end of the day, everything gets better, Cornell. Everything improves. It's not the end of the world, and it's most certainly not something, suicide is like an infectious disease. It's horrible.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in, because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Well, on Fox Faceoff, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Faceoff.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, Stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up.
You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Isaiah Bond turned himself into Frisco police less than 2 weeks before the NFL draft. There was a warrant for his arrest on sexual assault, and we should warn you, WFAA just obtained new documents that contain some disturbing details. According to an affidavit, Bond met the accuser back in February in Frisco after messaging over Instagram for several months. It says what started as a consensual sexual encounter turned into assault when the victim told Bond to stop and he didn't. The affidavit also claims Bond offered the accuser money if she'd sign a non-disclosure agreement, but she reported it to police 2 days later. Bond's attorney issued a statement to NFL Network saying he's cooperating with investigators and, quote, regarding the accusation made against me, I would appreciate the time and opportunity to defend myself and prove the claims made patently false. Bond has since posted bond and is now free until his next court date.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
All right, Quanell, this is yet another SEC. He was predicted to go in the second round, also a wide receiver, facing significant criminal charges arising from off-field behavior that threatens to end his football career and change the course of his life. Isaiah Bond was a standout receiver at the University of Texas, incredibly talented. This is an allegation out of Frisco, Texas, which is north of Dallas in Collin County. It's the same county where the incident last week, the stabbing at the track meet, occurred. He has been charged, and we heard some of the facts. Most of the facts have not been released. The identity of his victim has not been released. But we are finally hearing that it was someone he met on Instagram, on social media, and that uniquely that this began as a consensual sexual encounter and then at some point shifted to non-consensual, and apparently he allegedly he tried to purchase a non-disclosure agreement, which led her to go to the police. Now, from a police officer and a criminal defense attorney's perspective, which I have been both in my life, it will be a hard case to prosecute in that she is conceding there was consent of some type to sexual intercourse, and then there was a denial of consent, as opposed to just date rape is always harder to prosecute than stranger rape if you identify the person. And then this, where there was some consent but not complete consent, it's all going to be in the details. And it doesn't, and I'm not speaking to, because I was not there and I don't know enough, I can't speak whether he's guilty or innocent. I can't speak as to whether she is telling the truth or she's not. I don't agree with the concept that you must believe all women, right? That took over in America during the Brian Kavanaugh confirmation hearings, Justice Kavanaugh for the Supreme Court, but then we quickly seemed to forget it when allegations were made against Joe Biden. I think that, however, I think we should listen to everyone who alleges that they are a victim of sexual assault, male or female, and that every sexual assault should be investigated. We saw right here in Houston, Texas, when we saw 240,000 cases of real crimes just get filed away, and it's understaffed, including thousands of sexual assault claims. I think this needs to be investigated. It's a horrible case.
Charles, let me say this to you. This is a very, very interesting case because they did meet on Instagram and they agreed through text messages to have sex. And allegedly, she agreed to have a certain type of sex with him. But when she got there, allegedly he went from that sex act to another sex act that she didn't approve of. Then when she leaves, here's the problem for this young man, and here's why I think he's going to have a serious legal problem. his own responses to her text messages is the problem. She texts him and she says to him, "Why did you do that? I told you not to." And then he responds pretty much where he says, "Well, alcohol makes me do certain things." That's damn near confession, dear brother. Then he goes on right here where he says, she says, while meeting with the officers, check this out, on February 20th, the affidavit states the woman texts Bond again as part of a pretextual interview. Brothers, she was with the police and started texting him at their request. And then he responded to the text messages like this. And when she asked him for an apology, he responded, "I did." The woman responded saying, "Apologizing by trying to pay me isn't a real apology, Isaiah. I kept telling you to stop," which Bond replied, "I'm sorry." She's sitting with the cops. And this fool is texting back and forth, admitting what he did was wrong, admitting what he did was what she didn't want to do. And they asked her to do that to set him up. And it's unfortunate because we don't know really what took place, but we do know that he's admitting in the text messages when what he should have did, the minute she told him, "I'm going to the police." You're a criminal, the former criminal defense attorney. He should have did what?
Well,
he should have lawyered up and went to a lawyer. The minute she said to this young man that she was angry with him, that he did something sexually to her, that she didn't want to do, he never, from that moment, should have did anything other than go to a lawyer, tell a lawyer what's going on. He's a high-profile football player, predicted to go in the upcoming NFL draft. The first thing you should have did was went and got legal advice and let them know what you're being accused of. So if it comes out any kind of way, no NFL team can say you tried to hide it, but with legal counsel, he never would have been texting back and forth with this type of text messaging.
Well, see, I disagree. You're looking at it from the perspective, I don't disagree from the perspective of a criminal defense attorney, but you're sitting here and you're saying, you're giving people advice about how not to get convicted, and you're saying the cops,
is that what I'm doing?
And you're saying the cops set him up. That's a quote. You said set him up.
Did you read this?
Let me finish. I think that the advice instead should be don't rape people, don't force women to do things they've expressly told you they don't want to do, right? So yes, if you're going to be a rapist, then you should listen to the advice. It's dumb to confess to the rape after the fact in text message, but I don't think, when I hear set up, I think somebody is trying, the cops are trying to wrongfully entrap someone or implicate
That's
someone.
not what this is?
No. That's them.
Wait 1 second.
No,
when she went in and told them what happened, their duty was to take the information, write everything down, record it, then go question him. No, they went further. Before they ever question him, they say, "Now start texting. Text him this. Let's see how he responds. Text that. Let's see how he responds." To use it against him.
Well, right. That's their job. In fact, their job.
So why wouldn't you tell young men if you've been accused of something of this nature and you've been accused of sexual assault? The wisest thing you can do once you recognize you've been accused is go get you some legal counsel, because you never know who she may sit with that may get her to use language like this that completely sets you up. And when you do go to trial, you're found guilty.
And from a legal perspective, that probably is counsel, but we're not here on this TV show as lawyers, and it seems like you feel like the only person that should be given advice in this situation is the guy that admitted to rape, right? And here, the police, now let me finish. The police were doing their job. Their job is to secure evidence that they can use for a conviction, right? You have a guy and a girl's being completely honest. She's saying, "Yeah, hey, we agreed to sex, but during sex, he did something I expressly told him that I did not want to do, and
but
he forced me to do it."
That she agreed to have
but
sex.
But you can give partial consent.
But she admitted she agreed to have sex, and then she says that he did something she didn't like.
Right.
But what the problem here is, they automatically took her side as believable.
No, they were.
That's why they told her to text him other text messages to set him up with his responses.
It sounds like she already had
they were giving benefit of the doubt,
where he was admitting to
Charles,
it.
No, if
it
that was the case,
like
if that was the case, why get her to text him again?
If that's the case, why get on the continued texting again in the police station?
Because they're trying to build a case to
You
secure
damn right they building the case. You damn right they building the case.
The advice you should be giving to young wide
Don't
receivers
rape.
and young football,
Don't sexually assault.
don't rape women.
But don't get set up either.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Well, on Fox Faceoff, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Faceoff.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And
Shut
neighborhoods
the hell up.
and
You
let
interrupt me all the
speak to my
time.
people.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
About a former Southern University football player's arrest on domestic violence-related charges. We first brought you this story as breaking news last night. 22-year-old Quardarius Davis was arrested in Tulsa, Oklahoma. An arrest report says neighbors called 911 telling police they have a video that showed Davis and a woman fighting. They say the video shows him kicking in her apartment door, the woman running out screaming for help, and the report goes on to say that Davis has been seen strangling the woman until she appears to pass out.
In this round, here's Quanell X.
Charles, this clip that we just watched is about a former Southern football player who choked out his girlfriend on a video, kicked open her door on the video. Allegedly, she didn't want to no longer be in a relationship with him. He was angry about her telling him the relationship is over, so he decided that he was going to physically force her to be in a relationship with him. Young brother Davis, you truly get the Jackass Award, young brother, because just because that woman don't want to be with you no more, you don't own that woman. You can't force her to be with you and remain in a relationship with you because she doesn't want to be with you anymore. God made more than one woman, brother. Clean yourself up and go find you another. But you're going to choke her out, kick open the door, then leave her laying on the ground. You get the Jackass Award, young man.
It's really, really disgusting. This is a guy that was thrown off Southern football team for not following rules in the middle of last season. This is 3 football players, 3 college athletes, elite level, that have all thrown their lives away possibly. One, obviously, just over criminal nonsense. I've seen the video, and it's a doorbell camera of a neighbor, and it's horrifying, the beatdown. It's reminiscent of Puff Daddy's beatdown of Cassie. It is heartbreaking to watch. I truly hope that I expect there to be real consequences. This will most likely end his football career. But we have to start talking to the young men of our society about how to treat women and about the consequences of criminality.
Well, first of all, young men got to understand that no woman is your property. You don't own that woman. Before she's ever your woman, she's first a woman and child of God. Don't you choke out no sister because she no longer wants to be with you. That is her right to walk away from that relationship. And quit being so damn desperate to where you feel if you lose that woman, you just can't control or maintain yourself anymore. Hell, God made you as a man. Be a man, brother. Be successful in life and become a product of success. Then you'll have many women to choose from. But if you're mentally and psychologically dead, and you're spiritually discapacitated away from God and His Word, you do ignorance like this, man. No, I ain't got no sympathy for this, brother. You don't choke that sister out, then leave her laying on the damn ground. You on your way to jail, brother. Some serious time also, I believe. He's not going to escape this, but you sure won't be catching passes in the NFL. I don't think no crowd going to accept you at their stadium with this kind of behavior.
No, not this. It's all captured on video. There's no way to deny it. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Oklahoma is not the state to get in trouble in from a law enforcement and criminal justice perspective. It is, I fully expect him to get some real prison time, and he took what it could have been an exciting life and an exciting career filled with opportunity, and he's turned it into most likely a ruined life of no opportunity.
That's it for the Face-Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, Stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
Shut the hell up.
You interrupt
and let
me all the
speak to my
time.
people.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Tonight on The Factor Uncensored, a Houston mortuary forced to close its doors after a social media live stream appeared to shed light on unacceptable conditions.
China, but sending them to other countries to get their little logos put on them. And basically all our bags and stuff is from China for the cheap ski. While I've been spending thousands of dollars on this.
Extra. Plus, high-end shoppers are getting the bold truth about made in Italy and France. Try China on for size for those thousands of dollar designer bags.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. Thank you for joining us tonight. A Facebook Live featuring the inside conditions of a Houston mortuary